Ahoy VC, welcome to the Personal Oasis. This is the Blind Island, and today we're going to be continuing on our top 100 favorite albums countdown. Remember, this is top 100 favorite, not what I think is the most artistic or necessarily the best. And since we're in the top 25 now, I'm going to include needle drops on each one of these records, so you can go and see if you want to check them out. I've been noticing some comments saying, I'm not sure if I would like that record. It's not usually an artist I listen to. Well, now I'll give you a little example of what it sounds like, so maybe you can decipher for yourself if you want to test it out. And just to let you know what's playing on the Personal Oasis right now, we have Dead Kennedys' Frankenchrist. I wish I could have included it on this list. There were just too many records that made it off, but this is a phenomenal record as well. Now let's continue on with the countdown. At number 25, I have Betty Davis' self-titled debut album. This record is funktastic. She is ripping it super hard on this. She is rocking harder than any other funk group at the time. I dare you to find someone who was doing it any better than Betty Davis was at the turn of the 60s, early 70s. The brief wife of Miles Davis, she was the one who pushed him out into more adventurous rock genres. Bitches Brew, In the Silent Way, and everything following that would not have been possible without her influence. And in fact, she was so out there, Miles didn't even like or want to go to all the crazy places she was willing to go. I freaking love this entire album. As soon as it starts off, if I'm in luck, you just might pick me up. There's this wicked, amazing bass line, and her voice just sounds like acid pouring into you. It's amazing. I love it. And just listen to the needle drop and check it out. At number 24, I have Joan Shelley, Over and Even. This is the most contemporary album that will be here on out from in the top 25, and there's a major reason for that. This is one of the sweetest, most lovely folk singer-songwriter albums that has come out within the 21st century. My wife and I, we constantly listen to this record, and it always brings a smile to my face. There's a warm melancholy that seeps over you like honey throughout the entire thing. She really takes up the mantle of singer-songwriters like Emmylou Harris, Judy Sill, Joni Mitchell. She takes those influences and completely wraps them in a Kentucky Appalachian mixture that is so wonderful and lovely. Jenny Come In never ceases to at least bring tears to my eyes. It's absolutely gorgeous song, and the entire record sounds as though it was plucked outside of time and could have been recorded 70 years ago, but here it is today with some nice modern day touches and flourishes. Absolutely gorgeous record, 100% recommended. Check out the needle drop. At number 23, I have Van Morrison's Astral Weeks. Now, one of my favorite channels here on the VC is Grandma's Handbag. Dean over there is phenomenal, and I believe that this was his #1 record. And man, I feel bad putting it so low in my top 20s, but geez, it just shows you that It's an incredible album because it constantly is up in the top tier echelon of most people. After they hear this record, they can't help but be completely drawn in by the beauty and majesty of Van Morrison's songwriting. He also has this composer's mindset. He builds a world around each song. It's more than just a song, it cascades into a symphony in 6 minutes. Absolutely gorgeous. Songs like Astral Weeks, Ballerina, Cypress Avenue, Madame George. Every single song on here is an absolute classic and masterwork of its craft. I highly recommend that if you have not listened to Van Morrison or only know him from Brown Eyed Girl, I know that a lot of people in the BC have listened to Van before, but some have not given Astral Weeks the proper attention it deserves, and it really does. At number 22, I have Kenny Burrell, Asphalt Canyon Suite. This is so incredible as far as jazz guitar is concerned, one of the absolute pinnacles of the very medium. I know that Kenny Burrell usually is lauded for Midnight Blue, and I love that record too. It is not on this list, but to me, this is where he takes all of the trappings of his hard bop and bop background and brings it into the funkiness that was beginning to turn within the late 60s, early 70s. He has this amazing quality to his playing. It's so soft, elegant, smooth, but also crunchy and vibrant. I can't get enough of this record. It's definitely a sleeper, one that not many people have heard of before. And I picked this up at an antique mall, and ever since I have been blown away by the sound quality that is on here. It is incredible, incredible. A total masterpiece waiting to be rediscovered. It has not been reissued, and it needs to be. It's an absolute wonderful piece of work. You can pick it up on Discogs for pretty cheap right now, around $15, $20, and I highly recommend you do. Check out this needle drop and tell me it's not incredible. And at number 21, I have Duke Ellington and John Coltrane. This is the only collaboration between these two jazz giants. Duke Ellington was the big band legend and continues to be the absolute godfather of jazz music. There is probably no other more influential person in jazz other than John Coltrane, potentially Miles Davis. And to have these two come together is an absolute joy for the ears to hear. One might think, well, Duke Ellington is mostly known for his big band work, and John Coltrane is known for his very fast sheets of sound. How are these two going to really blend in a quartet or quintet type of setting? And I'll tell you, incredibly. It's some of the greatest music I have ever heard. It is so beautiful. Duke's piano playing on here is thoughtful and meditative, and John Coltrane seems inspired to be around the legend that is Duke Ellington, that the beauty of his saxophone has never known such delicate heights. It is so beautiful, so gorgeous, while not blasting you away with the amazing virtuoso techniques that he would use in other albums. John Coltrane's thoughtful melodic playing on here is some of the best I have ever heard from a saxophone player. And it is some of the most beautiful music I have ever heard. So that was the countdown for today. What did you guys think? Any albums in here that you thought you wouldn't like, but maybe you're reconsidering on? Let me know in the comments below, and I hope that you have a great day on your own personal oasis. Cheers.